The Nintendo Switch is nearly 4 years old, having been released in March 2017. It's arguably what you'd call a mature console, and that potentially means it's due some form of upgrade. Now, Nintendo has said nothing about releasing a second generation Switch anytime soon, given the current Switch is still selling like crazy. But we've heard rumours that there could be some form of upgraded Switch in the works, potentially called a Switch Pro. So here's everything we know, and we think we might know, about the Nintendo Switch Pro. But what should you expect from a Switch Pro? Well, we don't think it will be radically different from the current Switch, but it could have a larger display thanks to narrower bezels. And that screen could use an OLED panel like those you get on an iPhone or Android phones, or even mini LED screen. That will potentially offer boosted colours and contrast, but be cheaper than OLED to produce. We also expect the Switch Pro's display to come in 1080p resolution to put it on par with phone displays. Not that the original Switch's screen was poor at all, in fact it was very good and we very much liked it. The Switch Pro could also be larger than its predecessor, possibly fitting in a bigger battery and more onboard memory to give it basically more room to breathe and more room to deliver better performance than the original Switch. Speaking of which, internally there's an outside chance the Switch Pro could have a boosted NVIDIA TEGRA X1 chip, but the rumours are a bit hazy on this. Currently the Switch offers a 720p resolution when gaming in handheld mode and up to 1080p when docked. But the leaks of the Switch Pro down as a 4K console. Now does that mean it'll deliver 4K gaming like the PS5 and Xbox Series X? No, we very much doubt it. But it could deliver 4K through a process of upscaling, kind of like how a TV takes 1080p footage and scales it up to fit the ultra high definition of its panel. Supposedly the Switch Pro's dock could come with a processor that'll either boost the console's overall graphics power, or use some form of upscaling to allow games like Breath of the Wild to look sharper and clearer on a 4K display. Or Nintendo might have quietly been working with NVIDIA to come up with a new custom chip to deliver enough power to actually run Switch games at 4K. Either method would be good, as 4K TVs have become more prolific since the Switch's launch, thanks to a drop in price and wider availability. Finally, and less of a rumour and more something we want, we're hoping the Switch Pro could come with a sturdier build than the original Switch. We really want to see a kickstand that won't fall over after a mere wobble, and something to make detaching and attaching the Joy-Con controllers feel sturdier would also be very welcome. And that's it, all we know and want from the Switch Pro. While it's just rumours and hearsay so far, we'd be optimistic that we'll see a new Switch this year. After all, Nintendo has done mid-generation upgrades to its consoles before. We're looking at you, 3DS. But for the time being, keep it locked to Tom's Guide for all the latest Switch news and everything exciting in the tech world. Until then, I'm Ronan McCollier. See you soon.